Little Balkan Days is underway in Pittsburgh, and the community is excited to be back after last year's cancellation. I'm Bronte Sorotsky with how the event highlights the area's diverse and rich culture.
Plus, Guardians of the Children. We'll tell you about a motorcycle group at Little Balkans Days and what they're hoping to do. Also, a streetcar named number 60. Take you on a streetcar ride at King Jack Park in Webb City and picking up the pieces. Take a look at the damage left behind by Hurricane Ida from the Gulf Coast to the Northeast.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Little Balkans Days is back in Pittsburgh after last year's cancellation. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky checked it out and tells us how its unique events differ from other fall festivals.
This Labor Day weekend, the city of Pittsburgh returns to its roots.
So we honor our ethic and immigrant heritage because Pittsburgh, Kansas and the Southeast Kansas area was an immigrant melting pot. So every Labor Day we celebrate that history, the coal mining history of the area.
The city does this with their annual Little Balkans Day Festival. The 3-day event showcases different cultures through music, art, food, and more.
So we have cooking demonstrations in Lincoln Park. We have all kinds of live music. The bagpipes are getting ready to start here. We'll have a folklife festival all day long with local color. JT Canola is the MC, where we'll have poetry readings, Slovenian music, polka music, country, bluegrass.
The bagpipes at this year's festival were played by Orrin Weiss, something he was shocked to be able to do.
I like Little Balkans. We've attended before. I never really thought that I'd be on the stage though. My brother and sister were always the singers. But I play the bagpipes and I guess that's what I'll be doing up there. But I'm excited to play here.
Saturday's festivities also included a dog show. One winner says she's proud of her pet, especially for learning new tricks as an older dog.
And then I was so proud of her because she learned all of those tricks super duper fast.
These types of events are uncommon for local festivals, something Little Balkan Days, which is in its 36th year, is proud of.
It's not your average fall festival. We have a full lineup tomorrow as well with a polka dance and a chicken dinner in the mall. We even brought back the original cookbook from 1985.
In Pittsburgh, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
The festival's fun will continue tomorrow. For more details, you can check out their Facebook page at Little Balkans Days Festival. And of course, we'll have more information on our website. And the Little Balkans Festival also brought out area nonprofits. One in particular, Guardians of the Children. It's a group of motorcyclists that work to prevent child abuse and educates the public to do the same. The organization's members act as mentors to abused children and offer protective and support services for them.
A lot of these children spend a lot of time anxious and afraid, and they just need to be let go. And, you know, we'll have a dozen members around them. There's nothing to fear with us, and they can just go out and have a good time and be a child.
Guardians of the Children is also looking for new members, and they meet the third Sunday of every month at the Holiday Inn in Pittsburgh. The popular farmers market wasn't the only thing bringing 4-staters out to King Jack Park in Webb City today. Plenty of people were lining up to take a free trolley ride on historic streetcar number 60. Volunteers keep the trolley in tip-top condition say it's been running since the early 1970s and went through a few different engines before Watco in Pittsburgh stepped in to help out.
Several years ago, Watco in Pittsburgh offered to put together the pushing unit that you see there, and they spent almost a year cutting that in two and building it in order to push the trolley around. So it's worked really well ever since, and we're much indebted to Watco.
Now, if you missed today's fun, you can catch a trolley at King Jack Park on Saturday the 18th. Free trolley rides are offered every first and third Saturday of the month. After a rainy start to the day, things starting to clear out and look a little better. Nick Kelly joining us.
Yeah, not only that, Chris, we were thankful for the rain on the front itself to push on through because It gave us a chance to get out of the 90s that we saw yesterday. After hitting 75 for a low this morning, we topped out at 86, which is actually right where we should be for this time of the year, early in the month of September. Hard to believe we're saying that already, but it's also good to say that after quite a bit of rain and thunderstorms this morning, the rain and thunderstorm chances shifted into our far southern counties, and you could almost argue we're pretty much done with this system and its rain chances, certainly so, as the front continues to sink south and east from the region. As far as temperatures go, a few spots already in the upper 60s. While many of us are still in the 70s, I see everybody dropping back to at least 66 first thing in the morning. Maybe a stray shower before sunrise, Chris, but we're looking a lot better tomorrow. Partly sunny skies, highs near 83. We'll see if we can hold on to this for Labor Day coming up here in a bit.
All right, Nick, thank you. Grand Isle, Louisiana is being described as uninhabitable. Before Hurricane Ida, the area was described as a remote oasis. It's a community of beach houses located on a narrow barrier island in the Gulf of Mexico. And it was the Bayou State's only barrier island with residents up until now. Drone footage shows damage the houses sustained when Ida slammed into the area with winds that reached 150 miles an hour. The island is now caked in 3 feet of sand, and many buildings lost their roofs. Authorities say every home and business on the island was damaged, and about 40% of them were destroyed. And Ida forced families to toss out furniture, clothes, their kids' toys, everything. They've been cleaning up for hours, days, and still have work to do. CBS's Elise Preston has more.
Catherine Navarro and Brainer Garcia are getting their first look at what Ida left behind.
I'm just like, this is horrible.
When they evacuated their Manville, New Jersey home on Wednesday, the last thing they saw was a wall of water swamping the basement.
How fast was it going?
It was going really fast. It was
like a waterfall
just pushing through that hole.
It was filling up like a pool.
Much of this riverfront town is covered in mud and debris after nearly 10 inches of rain fell here in just 3 hours. In nearby Bridgewater, a major league cleanup is underway at the TD Bank ballpark after the storm left the field underwater.
They've been out there actually all day yesterday and today, literally watching it blade by blade, cleaning the dirt and soot off the grass.
The storm spawned at least 10 tornadoes in the Northeast, including the one that destroyed Troy Thomas's home in Mullica Hill, New Jersey.
The sound of it is what I'll never get out of my head, is the sound of just everything sounded like cracking and breaking.
In New York City, officials are rewriting emergency protocols after nearly a dozen people died in flooded basement apartments. The storm arrived in the Northeast after ripping through Louisiana, where Governor John Bel Edwards toured the damage today. Hundreds of thousands are still without power, and state officials are launching an investigation into at least 6 deaths at a warehouse where nursing home residents were evacuated.
Why would you treat elderly people in a building and not call for help?
The governors of New York and New Jersey say financial relief is on the way for those hit the hardest. Meanwhile, laws are in effect today to protect families trying to get food and gas from price gouging. Elise Preston, CBS News, Manville, New Jersey.
And we take this time now to honor one of our many four-state heroes. Corporal Don Thurber served in the Army during Korea, his hometown, Shatopah. We are proud to recognize Corporal Don Thurber, tonight's four-state hero. And remember, to learn more about other heroes or nominate one of your own at any time, just head over to our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. Bracing for cases. Still ahead on the KOAM News at 10, how one Oklahoma community is preparing for a possible surge in COVID cases. And holiday surge, the latest on concerns on another possible COVID surge as Americans celebrate the Labor Day weekend. Emergency tents go up in Stillwater, Oklahoma as the area braces for new coronavirus cases. The tents were set up outside the Stillwater Medical Center as the city declared a state of emergency. Stillwater's Mayor Will Joyce made the declaration ahead of Labor Day weekend, and actions were taken to ease medical center overflow pressure. Volunteer doctors, nurses, and technicians from the Medical Reserve Corps are assisting the treatment tents. Large crowds were expected in Stillwater as Oklahoma State University opened its football season at home this evening. Well, Americans are celebrating the Labor Day weekend, but with the Delta variant still looming large, many are worried about the spikes in infections. CBS's Lilia Luciano is in Santa Monica with the latest.
Summer is coming to an end, and with it, hopes of getting COVID under control. Nationally, cases topped 1 million this week, nearly 10 times the number of weekly cases from the 4th of July. And once again, the U.S. has the highest daily case count in the world. Still, millions are on the move this Labor Day weekend.
We're all vaccinated, so we feel comfortable hanging out together.
The CDC is urging those who skip their shots to skip holiday travel. Across the country, ICU wards are full again, most of the COVID patients unvaccinated.
Our choices today and over this weekend can help prevent the worst-case scenario for our healthcare system.
Nationally, COVID hospitalizations are 3 times higher than a year ago, with the number of children and teens in hospitals 5 times higher than when the summer began.
Hospitalizations are much lower among children in communities with higher vaccination rates. Vaccination works.
And the politics of the pandemic keep turning schools into battlefields.
You have a target on your back for enforcing unlawful orders.
An Arizona principal was targeted by 3 men holding zip ties and threatening to make a citizen's arrest over COVID restrictions.
We will continue to follow those guidelines and stay the course.
And college football is back in full force this weekend, including in hard-hit Florida, which is home to some of the fiercest masking debates, and where 88,000 Gator fans are expected to cram the Swamp Stadium. Lilia Luciano, CBS News, Santa Monica.
Well, many Americans are facing a new financial challenge. The helping hand from the U.S. government was aiding millions of households affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. That's about to come to an end. John Laurent reports.
The first weekend in September is bringing new challenges to at least 7.5 million Americans.
Sleeplessness, it's a lot.
My inner voice is me yelling, screaming, trying to be like, what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna do.
The COVID-19 pandemic unemployment benefits are expiring in the 26 states that were still handing them out. And while many companies say they're trying to fill positions with incentives like signing bonuses, they're often having trouble getting takers.
Yeah, there are any number of jobs that I could go out and do, but not all of them can support me.
In part because of health-related concerns.
We're still in a pandemic. The idea of being close to hundreds of strangers a day, even while being vaccinated, that's not something that appeals to me in any way.
Cutting unemployment benefits hasn't always resulted in sizable job growth this year. According to data from April to July, the states that ended federal benefits early saw just under a point in growth, while those that kept the benefits saw nearly twice as much. This comes on the heels of a disappointing monthly jobs report that showed the U.S. adding the least amount of positions since January.
You've got COVID resurgence, which has affected translated to bad job numbers. Afghanistan, fires, hurricanes. That's a lot all at one time.
I'm John Laurent reporting.
The U.S. economy is still 5.3 million jobs below where it was in February of 2020, just before COVID-19 was declared a pandemic. Later on the KOAM News at 10, you'll never guess what's made a return. We're going to tell you what day it is.
Before that, though, we'll return with a look at our forecast, including a break from the heat and rain chances clearing out. We'll get to it next. Even though we had to deal with quite a bit of cloud cover, some rain and thunderstorms today, we'll certainly take it, given it gave us a chance to cool us down after a hot start to our holiday weekend the other day. In fact, the active time lapse from Indigo Sky Casino Resort outside of Seneca, Missouri showed what many of us had to deal with throughout the course of the day, especially our northern counties. You had to deal with the brunt of the rain and thunderstorms this morning. Then as our cold front passed on through, we saw another development of more isolated to widely scattered showers and storms in our southern counties south of I-44 as we got this late afternoon and evening underway. Overall, though, both rounds of rain for us today alone giving most of us 1.3 inches on the average. But you can see how the heavier amounts of rain in our far northern counties push some of your rain tallies to 3 and even 7 inches of rainfall. That's still resulting in a problem for much of Allen County, especially the northern parts of the county where authorities are still reporting some floodwater an issue for some of the area roads, so that's why the flood warning remains in effect until noon tomorrow. Aside from that, we've got the Neosho River running a bit high, same goes for the Osage and the Little Osage in northern parts of Vernon County. Those will start to subside once we get into early Wednesday, if we can manage to keep things dry. And I think you'll like that part of the forecast later on. In the meantime, though, the isolated showers and storms in our southern counties continues to sink south and east over toward Table Rock Lake. So I think we'll be pretty much done with our rain chances once we get past midnight or 1 a.m. Then we'll look a lot better for the rest of the holiday weekend. 72 and quiet in Joplin with the north breeze at 7 miles per hour, certainly allowing us to cool down. In fact, we're already seeing some upper 60s across parts of the area, especially around Stockton Lake, Iola, and Yates Center. We'll join them eventually and drop back into the mid 60s late tonight, while at the surface, our front continues to push south and east. That will take the rest of the rain chances out of here. And not only that, this upper level wave passing along the jet stream, that will also get rid of the last of the rain chances. So once we get both features out of here, we'll enjoy the milder side of the jet and brighter skies as we go, especially into tomorrow morning, where I think we'll start to get rid of mostly cloudy skies and turn partly cloudy as we drop to 66 first thing in the morning. And the rest of the day, it's looking mighty nice. A northeast breeze with partly sunny skies, 77 by noon, and a high of 83 tomorrow as a result of that. Again, we'll stay on the milder side of the jet for our Labor Day. You can see how we got plenty of mostly sunny skies lined up on the map already. But as far as the numbers go, we're looking okay too. 62 in the morning, 82 by noon, and with dry air, we'll quickly see highs jump to 87 degrees for the unofficial end of the summer season. I want to watch for a weak system Tuesday night and the Wednesday. Just the slimmest chance of a random shower, but I think we're mainly dry with that. But once we hit the end of next week, that upper ridge out west wants to build back in. While it doesn't want to pack much in the way of humidity, that will ultimately send us back to 90 on Friday and 95 by Saturday. Before then, Chris, we're going to enjoy these numbers that we got lined up for each afternoon. 83 tomorrow, 87 on Labor Day. We have to push near 90 on Tuesday, but after that, we'll drop into the lower 60s for Wednesday and Thursday morning and highs in the mid-80s Wednesday and Thursday.
Pretty good looking forecast. I mean, we needed the rain, we got it. Now we're going to have a pretty nice week ahead.
Yeah, for those that didn't like the heat, we got a chance to cool down and feel not so humid as well.
All right, Nick, thank you. Turning to sports, Danny Terzer joining us. Joplin High School hosting a softball tournament.
The Eagles faced the Neosho Wildcats earlier today. We'll take a look at that game coming up, plus a big CNC battle between Columbus and Frontenac this morning. Those highlights next. The Frontenac Raiders and Columbus Titans meet today in a big Week 1 showdown in the CNC. The two teams actually started the game last night, but it was pushed back to this morning due to the weather. Columbus aims to make it back-to-back wins today against their league rivals. Second quarter all-defense Cruz Blair flies in for the huge sack for the Raiders, forces a Columbus punt. Ensuing Frontenac drive, snap gets away, but check out Colin McCartney, picks it up, slings it to Aaron Doria. Raiders in the red zone. McCartney would go right back to Doria, 3-yard touchdown connection. Frontenac goes into the half up 6-0. Second half, Columbus defense doing what it can to stay in it. Cody Schock comes in with the sack. It's still 6-0 midway through the third, but then Frontenac pulls away. Early in the fourth, Justice Compton takes the handoff from McCartney. Big hole for Compton. He races 74 yards down the sideline for the touchdown. The 2-point conversion makes it a 14-point lead for the Raiders. Back on defense, Oklahoma State commit Landon Dean made a few big plays today. Big sack on third down here, forcing the Titans to punt again. And they would add another score. This time it's Mario Mangini getting in from 4 yards out. Frontenac gets the shutout win over Columbus today, 20-0.
D-line started it. I thought Justice Compton was tremendous at middle linebacker. Our strong and weak safeties, I thought, set the edge very well, and our secondary did pretty well on that too. So I told them it's a team game. We need everybody from the sideline on the field. So I thought it was just a tremendous team effort.
At the college level, Coffeyville opens up their season with 3 straight home games through the month of September. Tonight, the Red Ravens host a tough one in their first game. Coffeyville taking on the defending national champs, the Hutchinson Blue Dragons. Third play of the game here, the Red Ravens fumble, and Albert Nunes returns it 24 yards into the end zone, 7-0 Blue Dragons. Coffeyville gets their first points in the second. Brennan Scott with the interception here. That leads to a Corterius Wilson touchdown right before half. Huge win for the Red Ravens. They take down the Blue Dragons 17-10. The Independence Pirates are on the road for their season opener, facing Butler in a top 15 matchup. Indy with it in the first. What a play this is. 3rd and 30, RJ Walker's pass is tipped to Reggie Williams. He hurdles the defender and takes it 44 yards to the house. 8-0 Pirates. Now 8-7, Walker keeps it this time, strolls into the end zone. 15-7 Indy. Second quarter, Walker swings it to Deontay Wilson. Nobody catching him. 54-yard touchdown, makes it 22-7. And more on the ground from Walker here, jukes his way around the defender and into the end zone. Walker finishes with 203 yards and 4 touchdowns. Indy wins 50-28. Today is the second day of the Paige Neal and Christina Freeman softball tournament in Joplin. Plenty of local schools competing in this one. In the bronze bracket, Joplin and Neosho meet in their final game of the tournament. After getting shut out earlier in the day, Neosho's bats get hot, up 4-0 in the first. Bailey Bowers, with the bases loaded, blasts it out of the park for the grand slam. Then Caitlin Killian goes deep to center for a solo shot. The Wildcats take an 11-0 lead after 1 inning. Next inning, Joplin gets going a bit. Madison Tracy triples and Maria Loam brings her home to put the Eagles on the board. They played a few in the second, but still trailing. And a really nice game for Killian. She gets her second jack in the 3rd inning. Neosho powers by Joplin 17-6.
Talk about some incredible games from football to softball today. There was some just good scores, good plays out there despite some early morning rain.
It really feels like the fall season has kicked in. So much action, and we're excited for it.
Absolutely. Danny, thank you so much. We're going to be right back. Well, hey, it's not football season without tailgating, and today is National Tailgating Day, meaning it's time to celebrate what many football fans would do anyway, hang out with fellow fans before a game with plenty of grilling, and if you're not at the high school campus, plenty of beer. National Tailgating Day was introduced in 2016 and falls on the first Saturday in September, and although tailgating has been a big part of the football culture for many years, its exact origin is still unclear. I feel that warrants an investigative report in the sports department.
Spending some time in Buffalo, I would say the Bills do it pretty right, but there's a lot of places that show up for tailgating season.
That is true. You got to find out how it started. Since
yeah,
nobody
that
seems
I don't
to
know.
Nobody seems to know. We'll have to sort that one out. Something else that's starting, a good week of weather.
Yeah, in fact, temperatures are flat out sorting themselves out as well. 83 tomorrow, but maybe just a slight chance of a storm before sunrise. 87 on Labor Day. That's a better way to wrap up this weekend.
Thank you, Nick. Danny, final quick check of sports.
Got to mention this one again. Coffeyville, huge win over the #1 team, according to the preseason poll, the Hutchinson Blue Dragons. So great start for the season.
Absolutely. Guys, thank you so much. That's our time for now. We'll be back here tomorrow. Thanks for making us part of your night.